My name is Thomas, and I'm 38 years old, standing at the edge of a life I thought I'd mastered, though it's unraveling faster than I can grip the threads. The Chicago skyline glints through my office window, a jagged reminder of the ambition that brought me here. I'm not a man who dwells on regrets, but lately, the weight of choices, mine and others, presses hard. I built my world on love, loyalty, and a dream to leave a mark, but the ground beneath me is shifting, and I'm not sure who I can trust anymore. 15 years ago, I was a scrappy kid from a small Illinois town, working construction to pay for community college. I didn't have a name or a network, just a stubborn belief that I could build something lasting. That's when I met Claire. She was a whirlwind, sharp-witted, with hazel eyes that saw through my rough edges. She was the daughter of Richard Hargrove, owner of Hargrove Logistics, a mid-sized shipping empire that kept Chicago's arteries pulsing. Claire saw something in me, a hunger she said matched her own. We fell hard, married young, and I thought I'd won the lottery, not for her family's wealth, but for her belief in me. Joining Hargrove Logistics was Claire's idea. "You're too smart to swing hammers forever," she'd said, her voice soft but insistent. Richard, her father, wasn't so sure. A gruff man with a handshake like a vice, he hired me as a junior operations manager, but his eyes told the real story. I was an outsider, a nobody who'd married his princess. "Prove you're worth it," he said once, half smirking, as if I were a bet he didn't expect to pay off. I took it as a challenge. I worked nights, learned the business inside out, optimized routes, cut costs. Within 5 years, I was director of operations, overseeing a fleet of trucks and a staff of 200. The company's profits climbed, and I thought I'd earned Richard's respect. But his nods were curt, his praise rare. "Not bad, Thomas," he'd say, like I was a dog that hadn't chewed the furniture. Claire's brother, Ethan, was the real heir apparent. 2 years younger than me, he was a charmer with a Harvard degree and a knack for dodging responsibility. As VP of Finance, Ethan coasted on his last name, schmoozing clients while I handled the grind. Richard doted on him, blind to his son's half-baked reports and late-night bar tabs. Ethan treated me like a useful tool, friendly enough, but with a smirk that said, "You're here because of Claire." I swallowed it, for Claire, for the family, for the life we were building. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Claire and I lived in a sleek condo in the Loop, hosted dinner parties, planned for kids someday. She was my anchor, the one who'd laugh at my bad jokes and push me to dream bigger. I confided in her about my idea for a tech-driven logistics platform, a system to streamline shipping with real-time data and predictive analytics. It could revolutionize the industry, I told her, sketching mock-ups on napkins. She'd smile, squeeze my hand and say, "You'll get there, Tom." I pitched it to Richard once, in a boardroom thick with cigar smoke. He waved it off. "Stick to what you know," he grunted. Ethan snickered. I let it go, but the dream simmered, a quiet fire in my chest. Outside work, I tried to build something meaningful. I volunteered at a local youth center, teaching kids from rough neighborhoods how to code, telling them they could rise above their circumstances. "You're not your past," I'd say, hoping they believed it more than I sometimes did. My own past, dead-end jobs, a father who drank himself into oblivion, still haunted me. I wanted to prove I was more not just to Richard, but to myself. Claire's family was my new foundation, or so I thought. Her mother, Ellen, was kind but distant, her warmth reserved for Ethan. Richard's approval was a mountain I could never quite summit. Still, I poured myself into Hargrove Logistics, believing my work spoke for me. I didn't see the cracks forming, didn't notice Claire's late nights at the office, or Ethan's too long glances at board meetings, or the way Richard's meetings with select staff excluded me. I was too busy building, too trusting, too damn naive. Now, as I sit in my office, a photo of Claire and me on my desk, I feel a tremor in the air, like the moment before a storm breaks. It's been a strange week, whispers in the halls, Richard's clipped tone, Ethan's absence from meetings. My gut tells me something's wrong, but I push it down. I've always been the fixer, the one who keeps the machine running. Claire's been distant, blaming work, and I've let it slide. We're a team, I tell myself. We've weathered worse. But tonight, as the city lights flicker below, I can't shake the feeling that my world is about to shift. I've spent years proving my worth to a family that never fully claimed me, chasing a dream they dismissed, loving a woman who's slipping through my fingers. I'm Thomas, the man who built a life from nothing, but I'm starting to wonder if I've built it on sand. Whatever's coming, I'll face it. Always have. But deep down, I know this storm might break me before it makes me. The air in Hargrove Logistics boardroom is thick with the scent of polished wood and stale coffee, but it's the silence that chokes me. I'm sitting at the long mahogany table, my hands folded, trying to read the faces across from me. Richard Hargrove, my father-in-law, presides at the head, his silver hair catching the fluorescent light, his eyes cold as slate. Claire is to his right, her gaze fixed on a stack of papers, avoiding mine. Ethan's chair is empty, a glaring absence that no one acknowledges. It's Monday morning, and the urgent meeting Richard called feels like an ambush. My pulse hammers, but I keep my face steady. I'm Thomas, the guy who fixes things, who keeps the trucks moving and the profits climbing. Whatever this is, I'll handle it. Or so I tell myself. The past week has been a slow bleed of unease. Whispers trailed me in the office, staff glancing away when I passed, meetings I wasn't invited to. Claire's been a ghost, leaving before dawn, coming home after midnight, her excuses thin as tissue paper. It's a big client, she'd say, her voice clipped, her hazel eyes darting. I wanted to believe her, to trust the woman who'd been my anchor for a decade. But last night, when I found her phone buzzing on the counter, a text from Ethan lit up the screen. We need to talk. He can't know. My stomach twisted, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed answers, not a fight. Richard clears his throat, and the room snaps to attention. Thomas, he says, his voice gravelly, we've got a problem. He slides a folder across the table, its contents spilling like shrapnel. Financial reports, emails, bank statements. I scan them, my mind racing. Discrepancies in the accounts, hundreds of thousands siphoned to an offshore shell company. My name is on the emails, but I didn't write them. This is a mistake, I say, my voice calm but firm. I didn't authorize these transactions. Richard's lip curls, a predator smelling blood. Your login, your approvals, your oversight. You expect me to believe you're innocent? I glance at Claire, waiting for her to speak, to defend me. She's the one who knows my work, my integrity. But she's silent, her fingers twisting a pen, her face a mask. My chest tightens. Richard, I've saved this company millions, I say, leaning forward. Check the logs. Someone else accessed my account. He scoffs, tossing another document my way. A performance review, dated yesterday, listing negligence and mismanagement. It's a fabrication, a blade sharpened for me. You've been sloppy, Thomas, Richard says. And now you've cost us. You're fired. Effective immediately. The word lands like a sledgehammer. Fired. From the company I've poured my soul into, the family I thought was mine. The board members, men I've worked beside for years, look away, complicit in their silence. Claire finally meets my eyes, but there's no warmth, only a flicker of guilt. Thomas, I'm sorry, she whispers, barely audible. Sorry? For what? For this setup? For not warning me? I want to scream, to demand answers, but the room is spinning, and I'm drowning in betrayal. As security escorts me out, my office already being boxed up, I overhear a staffer whisper, Ethan's back tomorrow. Guess he dodged this one. Ethan. The golden son, absent during this crucifixion. My mind flashes to that text on Claire's phone, to the rumors I'd ignored, Ethan's late-night client dinners, his unexplained trips. And then it hits me, a sickening clarity. Ethan's the one who's been skimming, and I'm the scapegoat. Richard's protecting his son, and Claire's letting it happen. Back in our condo, I pace the hardwood floors, the cities hum a mocking backdrop. My phone buzzes with messages, colleagues offering pity, others gloating. I'm a pariah now, my reputation shredded. I call Claire, but she doesn't answer. I try Ethan, get voicemail. Desperate, I dig through old emails, finding a trail, Ethan's approvals on shady contracts, his name on the shell company's filings. I confront Richard over the phone, my voice raw. You know it's Ethan, I say. Why are you doing this? His reply is ice. You're not family, Thomas. You never were. Stay away from my company. The betrayal cuts deeper than the firing. Richard's words echo his smirks from years ago, prove you're worth it, and I see now I was never meant to win. Claire's silence is worse. She knew, or at least suspected, and chose her family over me. I collapse onto the couch, my wedding ring glinting like a cruel joke. The man who optimized routes, who taught kids to code, who dreamed of revolutionizing logistics, is now a nobody again. My savings are modest, Hargrove's pay was good, but not lavish, and Claire controls our joint accounts. I'm staring at a void, professionally ruined, emotionally gutted. Yet, even in this wreckage, a spark flickers. That logistics platform I pitched, the one Richard dismissed, burns in my mind. I could build it, start over, prove them wrong. But the weight of betrayal, Claire's, Ethan's, Richard's, threatens to smother it. I think of the kids at the youth center, their eyes bright with possibility. You're not your past, I told them. Can I believe it for myself? I don't know. All I know is that I'm alone, humiliated, and the people I loved most have turned their backs. But I'm still here, and that's got to count for something. As the Chicago skyline darkens, I make a vow. I'll rise from this, not for them, but for me. Whatever it takes, I'll make them see what they threw away. The Chicago wind bites at my knuckles as I walk the streets of the Loop, my coat too thin for November's chill. It's been 3 weeks since Richard fired me from Hargrove Logistics, and I'm a ghost in my own life. The man who once ran a fleet of trucks now spends his days in a rented co-working space, a cramped desk surrounded by 20-somethings tapping away at startups. My name, once a quiet badge of pride, is mud, smeared by whispers of embezzlement, negligence, failure. I'm Thomas, 38, and I've lost my place in the world. Worse, I'm losing Claire, and the truth about her silence is a blade twisting in my gut. Our condo, once a haven, feels like a mausoleum. Claire comes home late, her perfume sharp, her eyes avoiding mine. Our conversations are clipped, transactional, bills, groceries, nothing more. Last night, I tried to bridge the gap, reaching for her hand across the dinner table. Talk to me, Claire, I said, my voice raw. What's happening to us? She pulled away, her lips a tight line. I'm just tired, Tom. It's work. But her phone buzzed, and I saw Ethan's name flash before she flipped it face down. That text from weeks ago, he can't know, haunts me. What can I know? The affair I suspect, or something uglier? I don't ask. I'm too afraid of the answer. The fallout from my firing is a slow bleed. My LinkedIn is a graveyard. No recruiters call, no colleagues reach out. The industry's tight, and Richard's influence is long. I've applied for jobs, but the interviews fizzle when my departure from Hargrove comes up. My savings are dwindling, Claire's still got access to our joint accounts, and I'm too proud to beg for scraps. I volunteer less at the youth center, too ashamed to face the kids I told to rise above. Who am I to preach resilience when I'm crumbling? But it's the betrayal that cuts deepest. I've pieced together more of Ethan's scheme. Late at night, hunched over my laptop, I hacked into an old Hargrove server, skills from my coding days, and found encrypted files linking Ethan to the offshore account. Forged emails with my name, yes, but his digital fingerprints are everywhere. He siphoned funds, covered it with my credentials, and Richard bought the lie, or chose to. The realization hits like a punch. Ethan didn't just frame me, He played me for years, grinning while I cleaned up his messes. And Claire? Her silence at that boardroom table, her refusal to defend me, screams complicity. Did she know about the fraud? The affair? Both? The woman I loved, my partner, my home, she's a stranger now. The internal struggle is a war. Part of me wants to confront her, to scream, to demand the truth. But another part, the part that still loves her, that remembers her laugh, clings to hope. Maybe she was coerced, caught in her father's web. Maybe she's protecting me from something worse. I hate that I still make excuses for her, that I'm still the loyal dog waiting for a pat. My identity, husband, director, mentor, is in tatters, and I don't know who I am without Hargrove, without Claire. The mirror shows a man with gray creeping into his beard, eyes hollowed by doubt. I'm not the hero of my story anymore. I'm the fool. Yet, in the wreckage, a spark persists. That logistics platform I pitched years ago, the one Richard scoffed at, is clawing its way back. I've been sketching it in the co-working space, calling it Freight Flow, a cloud-based system to optimize shipping with AI-driven analytics. It's ambitious, but it's mine, a lifeline to the man I was before this mess. I've coded a rough prototype, my fingers relearning the rhythm of late-night programming. It's not much, but it's a start. I haven't told Claire. I don't trust her to care. The turning point comes on a rainy Tuesday, sitting in a diner, nursing a coffee gone cold. My phone pings with an email from a former colleague, a low-level analyst who quit Hargrove last year. Heard what happened? Not your fault. Check this. Attached is a screenshot, an internal memo from Ethan, dated a week before my firing, outlining restructuring to mitigate risks, code for pinning the fraud on me. The memo mentions Claire's support for the plan. My coffee cup trembles in my hand. Claire didn't just stay silent, she helped them bury me. The truth is a wildfire, burning away my excuses. She chose her family, her brother, over me. The affair, if it's real, is just salt in the wound. I sit there, rain streaking the diner's windows, and feel the weight of every betrayal, Richard's dismissal, Ethan's fraud, Claire's complicity. I could let it crush me, become the broken man they expect. But something shifts, a quiet defiance rising like a tide. I'm done being their scapegoat, their punching bag. I'm not a victim. I'm Thomas, the kid who clawed his way out of nothing, who built a company's profits while they sneered. I won't beg for Claire's love or Richard's approval. I'll build Freight Flow, not to spite them, but to prove I'm more than their lies. Back in the co-working space, I open my laptop, the prototype glowing on the screen. It's rough, but it's alive, a piece of me they can't touch. I email the analyst, asking for more evidence, and start researching investors. My savings won't last, but I'll find a way. The kids at the youth center flash in my mind, their dreams bigger than their circumstances. If they can fight, so can I. Claire's betrayal, Ethan's fraud, they've shattered my trust, but they've also freed me. I don't need Hargrove. I don't need her. I'm rebuilding in silence, and when I rise, they'll see the man they underestimated. The storm's not over, but I'm ready to face it, one line of code, one truth at a time. The fluorescent lights of the co-working space hum above me, casting shadows on my laptop screen as I refine Freight Flow's prototype. It's been 2 months since I learned Claire helped Ethan frame me, and the betrayal is a coal burning in my chest, fueling every keystroke. I'm Thomas, 38, a man stripped of his title, his marriage, his trust, but not his fight. Chicago's winter rages outside, but in this cramped corner, I'm rebuilding brick by coated brick. Ethan and Claire think they've buried me. They're wrong. I'm not just rising. I'm coming for them, armed with truth and a plan sharp enough to cut through their lies. My life is a shadow of what it was. I've moved out of the condo, leaving Claire a note. I know what you did. I'm done. She didn't call, didn't text, her silence a final nail in the coffin of our marriage. I'm in a studio apartment now, bare walls and a mattress on the floor, my savings stretched thin. Hargrove's smear campaign has blacklisted me, recruiters ghost me, industry contacts dodge my calls. But I'm not begging for scraps. Freight Flow is my lifeline, a platform that could outsmart Hargrove Logistics with its AI-driven logistics optimization. I've poured nights into it, coding until my eyes blur, fueled by coffee and a quiet fury. It's not just a startup, it's my redemption. The spark of revenge ignites when an old friend, Marcus, reaches out. We worked together at Hargrove a decade ago, before he left to start a data analytics firm. Over beers in a dive bar, I tell him everything: Ethan's fraud, Claire's complicity, Richard's betrayal. Marcus listens, his jaw tight. "I've got something you need to see," he says, sliding a USB drive across the table. It's a goldmine, hacked Hargrove financials, unencrypted, showing Ethan's siphoning of $1.2 million into a Cayman Islands account. The files also reveal Claire's role. She signed off on consulting fees to a shell company Ethan controlled, funneling money while I was scapegoated. There's more: emails between Claire and Ethan, not just about the fraud, but personal, intimate. "Meet me at the Drake, midnight." My stomach churns. The affair wasn't a suspicion, it's real, and they've been laughing at me for years. The discovery is a blade, but it sharpens my resolve. I'm not the fool they think. I know Hargrove's operations, every route, every contract, every weakness. I know Ethan's sloppiness, Claire's ambition, Richard's blind spots. Marcus offers more than data. His firm has investor connections, and he believes in freight flow. "This could disrupt the industry," he says. "Let's get you funding." I nod, but my mind is elsewhere, plotting. Exposing Ethan and Claire isn't enough. I want their empire to tremble, and I want it public. I spend weeks strategizing, my apartment a war room of sticky notes and spreadsheets. Freight Flow's prototype is ready for a pitch, and Marcus sets up a meeting with a venture capital firm, Apex Ventures, known for backing disruptors. I refine my presentation, weaving in Hargrove's inefficiencies, without naming them, showing how Freight Flow's real-time analytics can cut costs by 20%. The pitch is a hit. Apex offers $500,000 in seed funding, with a promise of more if I deliver. It's a lifeline, but it's also leverage. I hire a small team, 2 coders and a marketing whiz, using my dwindling savings to bridge the gap until the funds clear. Every step feels like a chess move, positioning me for checkmate. The revenge takes shape when Marcus uncovers a bombshell. Hargrove Logistics is bidding for a $10 million city contract to manage Chicago's port logistics. Ethan's leading the pitch, banking on his charm and Richard's name. But the financials Marcus leaked show Hargrove's books are cooked, overstated profits, hidden losses, all tied to Ethan's fraud. If the city sees this, the contract's dead and Hargrove's reputation will tank. I could leak it anonymously, but that's too easy. I want Ethan to face the music in public, with Claire and Richard watching. I plan the strike for the Chicago Logistics Summit, a glitzy industry event where Ethan's presenting Hargrove's bid. Marcus gets me a slot to pitch Freight Flow, a last-minute addition to the startup showcase. It's a risk. Hargrove's team will be there, but it's my chance. I work with a lawyer friend to prepare a dossier. The leaked financials, Ethan's emails, Claire's approvals, all verified by a forensic accountant Marcus knows. The dossier is my weapon, but I need the stage to wield it. I rehearse my pitch not just for Freight Flow, but for the moment I'll expose them. It's not about pettiness. It's about truth, about showing the world who they are and who I am. The summit is a glittering affair, held in a downtown hotel's ballroom, packed with industry titans and media. I'm backstage, my heart pounding as Ethan takes the stage, all smiles, touting Hargrove's unmatched reliability. Claire's in the front row, radiant in a navy dress, Richard beside her, oblivious to the storm coming. My turn comes and I step into the spotlight, Freight Flow's demo on the screen behind me. I pitch with fire, detailing how my platform outpaces old guard firms like Hargrove. The crowd leans in, investors scribbling notes. Then I pivot. I built this from experience. I say, my voice steady but edged. Experience at a company where I was blamed for others' crimes. Gasps ripple through the room. I hold up the dossier, projecting key documents on the screen, Ethan's fraudulent transfers, Claire's signatures. Hargrove Logistics is built on lies. Their VP of Finance embezzled millions, covered by their CEO, while I was scapegoated. Here's the proof. The room erupts, cameras flashing, Ethan frozen on stage. Claire's face pales, Richard's jaw drops. I don't name them directly, my lawyer advised restraint, but everyone knows. Reporters swarm as I step down, Marcus clapping my shoulder. You did it, man. By morning, the stories everywhere. Crane's Chicago business, Logistics Today, even local news. Hargrove's contract bid collapses, their stock plummets, and Ethan's facing an SEC investigation. Claire's name is dragged through the mud, her silence no longer a shield. I'm trending as the whistleblower who built a better way. Freight Flow's inbox floods with investor inquiries, and my team's buzzing. But as I sit in my studio, the city's lights flickering outside, I feel no joy. I've won, but at what cost? Claire's betrayal, Ethan's greed, they've lost, but so have I, in ways I can't yet name. The fight's not over. I've rebuilt, I've struck back, but I need to face them, to close this wound, before I can truly move on. The Chicago skyline sparkles through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new office, a modest space in River North that hums with the energy of Freight Flow's growing team. It's been 4 months since I exposed Ethan and Claire's fraud at the Logistics Summit, and the world has shifted under my feet. I'm Thomas, 38, no longer the scapegoat of Hargrove Logistics, but a man who's clawed his way back from betrayal. My startup is thriving, my name is cleared, and the family that broke me is crumbling. Yet, as I stand here, a contract for $1 million deal on my desk, I know the real victory isn't in their downfall. It's in the freedom I've claimed and the man I've become. The fallout from the summit was seismic. Hargrove Logistics lost the city contract, their stock tanked, and Ethan's fraud triggered a federal investigation. The media feasted, whistleblower exposes family empire, and Freight Flow became the story's hero, a startup poised to disrupt a corrupt industry. Apex Ventures doubled their investment to $1.2 million, and we've signed contracts with 3 major shippers, outpacing Hargrove's routes. My team, coders, marketers, logistics nerds like me, works late, not out of fear but passion. I'm not just rebuilding, I'm redefining what's possible. But the plan's final piece, the one that will sever my ties to the Hargroves, is a secret I've held close. Months ago, while digging through Ethan's financial trail with Marcus, I discovered a hidden asset, the land under Hargrove's main distribution hub, a sprawling warehouse in Cicero. Ethan, in his greed, had quietly transferred its deed to a shell company he controlled, likely to shield it from taxes or creditors. Using my knowledge of Hargrove's operations, I traced the shell company's accounts, found its vulnerabilities, and, with Marcus's investor contacts, orchestrated a silent buyout. Last week, I finalized the purchase through a trust, anonymous but ironclad. I own the land Hargrove depends on, and they don't even know it. The confrontation comes on a crisp March morning, in the same boardroom where Richard fired me. I requested the meeting, claiming it was about industry collaboration. Richard, Claire, and Ethan are there, their faces a mix of defiance and exhaustion. Ethan's out on bail, his charm replaced by a twitchy unease. Claire's eyes are hollow, her navy blazer hanging loose, as if she's shrinking under the scandal's weight. Richard, still imposing, glares like I'm a bug he failed to squash. I stand across from them, my suit sharp, my voice steady, no longer the son-in-law begging for scraps. I'm not here to gloat, I begin, sliding a folder across the table. I'm here to end this. The folder contains the deed to the Cicero land, my trust's name in bold. Richard's face pales as he reads, his hands trembling. You can't, he starts, but I cut him off. I can. Your hub's on my land now. I could triple your rent, evict you, or sell to your competitors. But I won't. Claire's eyes snap to mine, confused. Ethan mutters something incoherent. I'm offering a fair lease, I continue, because this isn't about revenge. It's about justice. You framed me, lied about me, broke me. But I'm not you. I turn to Claire, the woman I loved for a decade. You chose them, I say, my voice cracking but firm. You signed off on Ethan's fraud, hid his affair, let me take the fall. I don't know who you are anymore. Her lips part, a tear escaping, but she says nothing. I look at Ethan, his smugness gone. You stole from your own family, Ethan. Live with that. Finally, Richard, his empire crumbling. You never saw me as family, I tell him. But I built your profits, and now I've built something better. Freight flows outpacing you, and I did it without your name. I slide the lease agreement forward, a standard contract at market rates. Sign it or I sell the land. Your choice. Richard's jaw tightens, but he knows he's cornered. He signs, his pen scratching like a surrender. I walk out, the boardroom's heavy air behind me, feeling lighter than I have in years. Outside, Chicago's spring breeze carries the promise of renewal. I've won, not by destroying them, but by surpassing them. The resolution isn't just in the land or the headlines. I've cut the Hargroves from my life, filing for divorce from Claire, who didn't contest it. My studio apartment is gone. I've moved into a loft near the office, filled with books and a desk where I mentor young entrepreneurs. Freight Flow's success has drawn attention. I'm speaking at conferences, advising startups, sharing my story of betrayal and rebirth. At the youth center, I'm back, teaching kids to code, telling them, your scars don't define you, your choices do. They listen eyes wide, and I believe it now, too. The final twist comes quietly, a week after the confrontation. A lawyer contacts me. Ellen, Claire's mother, left me a small inheritance in her will, drafted before the scandal. She passed last year, and I never knew. It's $50,000, enough to fund a scholarship at the youth center. I name it after her, a nod to the one Hargrove who showed me kindness. It's not about money, it's about closing the circle, choosing grace over bitterness. As I stand in my office, the city's lights a canvas of possibility. I reflect on the man I was, hungry, trusting, broken, and the man I am. I loved a family that didn't love me back, built a company that cast me out, and lost a wife who chose lies over me. But I found something greater, myself. Freight Flow isn't just a business. It's proof that betrayal can forge you, not break you. I help others now, founders, dreamers, kids from nowhere, showing them how to rise from ashes. The Hargroves are a fading echo, their empire a footnote. I'm Thomas, the man who turned pain into power, and my story's just beginning. To anyone listening, know this, your lowest moment isn't your end. It's where you start building.